Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So today we'll see one more concept in our computer networks, that is DNS, which is called as a domain name system. So it is a domain name system. So what is this domain name system? So in our daily life, we are using a lot of websites. Okay, so example, we'll be using some google.com. Okay, so what happens? So some message will be sent from our system to the Google server. Okay, so this is our system. Okay, I'll give it as A, and this one is a Google server. Okay, so from our system some request will be sent, and as a reply from the Google server we will get the response. So this usually we call it as a client server model, right? Client server model. Now, so this is called as a communication. This process we call it as a communication. So communication in our computer network means sharing upon some data. So exchanging some data. So request and response. Now, in order to communicate between two devices, compulsory there should be some identifier, unique identifier, which is a IP address. So with the help of IP address only we can communicate with one system can communicate with another system. But here we are using google.com instead of the IP address, right? So this DNS will translate readable domain into IP address. Okay, so that is the purpose of domain name system. So it will convert the URL. So we are calling it as a URL, or we can call it as a domain. Okay, this is a domain. So whatever the human readable domain is there, that will be converted into IP address in order to communicate with the server. So this process is called a DNS, which is a domain name system. So this will be acting like phone book of internet. Phone book of internet. So actually we'll be having some phone book where we can store the contacts and their numbers. If you want to call to one person, we'll go with the telephone directory and we'll be finding the number, or we'll finding the name and corresponding the phone number. So similarly, this particular thing will be acting as a phone book of internet. That means first, whenever we send a request to the Google server, immediately that will send a query. We call it as a DNS query to one more system called DNS server. DNS server. So immediately the DNS server will check this domain and it will identify the IP address and it will give response to this particular system, right? So IP address. Okay, so for example, some 75.10.25.4, this is some IP address. So we have seen how the IP address looks like, right? So this is a IP address of version 4. So immediately it will go to the Google server and it will check it out. Okay, so first it will not go to the Google server. See, I'll give you the complete steps. Okay, I'll give you the complete steps. So this is a system user. Whenever it sends a request So which is nothing but, let us take an example, google.com. First it will check with the DNS server. So whenever the user types to google.com in the browser, it will check with the Google DNS server and it will give a response. Okay, it will give a response with a IP address. With a IP address. Okay, then with that IP address, it will send the actual request to the Google server. It will give the actual request will be sent to the Google server. Okay, and it will get the response. This is how it will be working, right? So whenever we type the domain, immediately that will be converted into IP address, and then only the client or our user will be communicating to that particular server. Okay, this is called a domain name system. So hope you understood. So whatever the domain we are giving, that will be converted to IP address. So conversion of domains to IP address is the working of DNS. So hope you understood, and I'll stop here. This is completely introduction about the DNS, and in further session we'll go in deep how it will be finding the IP address and everything, right? So let's stop here, and if you are having any doubts regarding this one, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. If you really enjoyed the session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.